My name is GenesisBreakfast2324KGilje, and I am a spoonie.
What?
For those of you who might not know what a spoonie is a word those of us with chronic illness often use to talk about each other. It was coined by a woman named Christine Mezzarantino, and that's a story for another day. But I am a spoonie, and I have been part of Genesis for more than 10 years, and I'm thrilled that the Disability and Transit Justice Organizing is including paratransit in its powerful agenda for public and collective transportation for us all. So thank you. I've lived which degenerate my joints and my organs since my mid-20s, living in daily pain, severe fatigue, and a variety of mobility challenges and possibilities throughout. I have been disabled by the systems of transportation, inaccessible institutions, and values and attitudes that have been unwilling to accommodate the ingenious tools that make my life and so many lives so much freer and fuller of energy, of less pain and more capacity, like my crutches, or my rollator, or my wheelchair, especially my wheelchair. Some of the most challenging transit seasons for me in this ableism are the months and sometimes the years when I need to wear hard, straight braces along my legs for healing, and I must use my wheelchair for mobility. Not as my preferred option, which it often would be if places were accessible, however, when it's a must. Given rampant disdain and lack of access for wheelchairs, I long avoided this. For example, hopping and dragging my leg braced across the graduation stage to blend in as best I could with the robes covering my braces. And then I met other disabled people who taught me the freedom of a wheelchair, what it makes possible to use this amazing wheeled device, even if for part of the day, in terms of less pain, my evening capacity for my family, patience, kindness, and the possibilities for distances traveled with a braced leg or two. And don't forget about the arm muscles that I built using that chair. When my leg is braced with those braces, it's possible for me to walk maybe 1 block or so. It's impossible for me to operate my car, and it's completely possible for my body to use the wheelchair. These are the moments when I realize in particular in my bones how and why well-resourced, responsive, and humming paratransit is so central to transit justice and really necessary for deep and real community. One of my paratransit stories, currently, disabled people are hard-pressed to rely on this resource, as paratransit just absolutely does not have the resources needed to deliver us or to deliver justice on time, even with the incredible intentions and commitments of so many of the drivers. The system is not funded in the way it needs to be, and it lacks coordination with other public transit to make this seamless, which could make us unstoppable. One of my most ironic paratransit stories comes out of my attempts to get to my regular support group for my disabling disease, pre-Zoom and pre-smartphone days. This support group was for people with my illnesses. At that time, the meeting was up a large hill from where I lived and from the closest bus stop. And when my body doesn't easily roll without my wheelchair for long distances, hills end me pretty quickly. I'm just going to need a ride, and my chair is going to need a ride too. Several of us in the group relied on paratransit for similar reasons to arrive and leave, and honestly, the whole group's structure and timing had to be organized around their schedule. Truth is, we could never all arrive at the same time. You know how that goes in a meeting. All the checking in is done, the agenda is set, and then whoops, in rolls KG. And a bummer to start all over just to miss that part. Certainly not fostering a sort of community and connecting, which makes the support group easier. Especially then when about 5 minutes later, perhaps the main people I'm there to connect with announced that, well, time for them to go. Their paratransit time for tonight was then or never. And then they prepared a wheel on that. And in case you're thinking taxi or Lyft or something, remember how much those cost?
Yes.
And that most of us can't, most of them don't accommodate a chair.
That's right.
I've had my share of those cars roll on by themselves, honestly, while waiting for them to arrive and pick me up when they see me in my wheelchair. A paratransit driver is ready, willing, and has the space for us. Eventually, we changed our cozy, accessible support group meeting location with treats and a community vibe to a sterile medical room full of sick patient vibe, yet at least on the bus line. Worked for me and many more people, though not those not on the bus line, who still had huge access blocks. This is just one example of so many reasons, including the daily, all-the-time basic life needs that a well-resourced and well-connected paratransit would make so much possible for people with disabilities and strengthen community for us all. So, we're about to hear more about the disability justice agenda, and I'm just asking you, will you take part and call with me to get this critical transit resource funded?
Yes. Yes! Woo!
I think you're here with an update on that, Carol. I can't be more excited, grateful, and I can't wait for that work.